Hi, YouTubers. This is a photo that Joe Menza on Ron Ranson Disciples Facebook page has posted a snow picture from America, where he lives, up in Michigan. And I think Michigan, Chicago. Joe's got a YouTube channel. Have a look at him. Joe Menza, Menza. He's up and coming, Joe. But he set this as a challenge for us watercolor painters in Ron Ransom Disciples page, but I thought I'd demonstrate my version of it anyway. So it'll be totally different to Joe's photograph. But what I've done is to move this tree was going out of the picture, but I've moved it going into the picture. It's a lovely snow scene, black and white. Well, it looks like black and white. So usual palette. So I'm going to just give it a wet. This is rough paper, £90 rough. It's very good paper, but it does soak up the water. I'm using the large one Ranson Hake, as I usually do. I'm a wet painter. So while that's wet and soaking, we'll put a coat of bit of warm. We don't want a cold looking day, do we? Uh, so let's warm it up with a bit of burnt raw sienna. Just a little brush of it, and just put that on while. Now, interestingly, the little stream going through the picture is going to be painted the sky colour or the background colour, which will be a sort of a grey colour, but with some darker greys mixed in. The river itself, or the stream itself, in parts looks black. The water looks black, but it's mainly because of the contrast between what is there and the sky and the snow. It's the contrast between the dark and the light, and the light will make the stream look much darker than it actually is. But we'll cope with that. Right, I'm going to just take a bit of water off there. As the paper stretches, just reclip it. You don't need to buy 140, £200 weight papers, especially if you're learning. It becomes prohibitively expensive, especially as you will get a lot of casualties. But don't throw them away, because sometime in the future you might like to take up acrylic painting or oil painting, and watercolor paper makes a superb support for that type of painting. You don't have to, with oil painting or acrylic, you don't have to prime the paper, but it will soak up a lot of the oil and it will dry matte, and at some stage will need to be varnished. But with acrylic, it just stops the paper from buckling. I use PVA glue diluted on both sides, paint one with a colour to obliterate the painting that's underneath it, and dry it with a hairdryer, and you can paint away on it, and it shouldn't buckle up because you've sealed it, made it waterproof. So don't throw your watercolour paper away in a rage because it didn't work. We all get failures, and I certainly do, but you don't see those. Right, I want to dry brush. So I'm going to dry that now. So I'm going to mute the sound. Right, just nudge that a little bit. That's fairly dry, as dry as we want. And I'm going to dry brush in some of that canopy of trees behind, and I'm going to use blue. Uh, I'll use my sable, I think, for that. Give it a nice wet. This is number 12 sable. I'm going to mix some ultramarine and some Payne's grey. A nice cool blue. Give that distant colour. Okay, so we'll just put in a bit of black or blue canopy. This all dries much lighter than it goes on. Try to get your tops different. Don't make them all the same size. It's a great brush for doing this sort of work. We want plenty of light coming through there, but getting a bit darker as we get to the bottom, a bit thicker as we're going into the lower branches. So, oops, need more water than that. Just painting a bit round that tree. As I say, it'll dry lighter. You can hear the roughness, can't you? A more solid colour. Not a great lover of sables. I much prefer my hakes. You can put a bit of warmth in there, or a bit of green showing through. So I think one thing about copying photographs is that's all what you're doing is copying a photograph. And what we're trying to do is warm up with a bit of burnt sienna in there, in the base of those trees. Some nice. Just strengthen up the shadows in that area there. Right, okay. Now I'm going to put a wash of the sky colour or the background colour, just a base colour. The snow reflects the surrounding background. Then we can develop some of that in a minute. I suppose that'll lift out now. Right, that's the background done. I'll dry that off again so we can crack on. Right, okay, back to the hake now. I'll put some of those trunks in. I'll use the hake for that. Let's get a bit of blue in a bit darker than what we've got in the back. Uh, I'll use a rigger for some of this. A bit of warm in there. Okay, just we don't need to elaborate. I might use a bit of white gouache on this, and put a little bit of there. That'll have a bit of shadow, and then we'll put in some bluer ones, and there's loads of them. A couple of them all in. Be all day. I mean, there are hundreds of these. We'll just put just indicate just a few of them. Could do this with a rigger, but I like the hake. If you get a good hake, and you don't know until you buy them, they're cheap, but they're effective. Might put some light coloured ones in there with some gouache. But I'm going to put some more trunks in here. Sorry, coughing away. Okay, a bit of sienna with that now. I've put in some bigger ones here. Scant regard to the photograph. Copying is not for me. Used to when I began, I used to copy a lot because that's how you learn. But eventually, you've got to stand on your own 2 feet and start to create original art. And original art isn't from a photograph. The photograph's the original art. Now I'm drawing the trunks towards the centre. I try to keep them different, of course. Right, okay. Now I'm going to use Frank Clark's hake here. I don't get anything for promoting his stuff, but I do like the brush, but it holds a formidable amount of water. But we want some. It's great for this sort of stuff. I only use it for this really. It's just some grass showing through here. They will give an opportunity for some shadow. We've got quite a bit on the other side of this bank here. And you can use the shape of the grass to show some shape on the land. All right, let's put a bit of shadow in that background now. Back to the big cake. Now the light is sort of coming from the left on here. So we'll just put a little bit of shadow. Let's put a touch of red in there. We'll have some coming off across here, I think. Right, let's put a bit of shadow in. Just make up this tree. Oh, that's not in view. Right, while that dries off a bit, before I put the stream in, I'm going to do some rigger work. Some sienna and Payne's grey, whatever. Remember, some branches cut across. Oh, you can make these as graphic as you want, really, but I prefer just to let the rigger just do some. It's better what you leave out than what you put in. And it's when if you copy my work, you will eventually realise that I've done the selection for you. I've left out all the stuff that I don't need, which would be in a photograph, complicating things. Okay, let's. I'll get Frank's brush again. Take off the excess water. We'll put some. Just some some leaves on there. Let's get the shape on there. And then painting some branches into that when it dries off a bit. Bit of sienna in there. It catches the light. Okay. We can strengthen up where needs, must. Let's have a go at this stream. There's a bit of, let's shape the bank now. I've used my hake. Bit of Payne's grey and burnt sienna. That's my favourite colour for these things along the bank. It sort of comes. Right, let's I'll use a little brush here now, scoop brush, put in a Payne's grey, a bit of blue. We'll just like a nice bit of dark now, just to show a bit of edge of the bank. Painting into the wet water there. Wet water. Now that stream just sort of disappears somewhere. Okay, we want to strengthen up a bit now. Just bringing some twigs into the canopy that I put here. I was going to the byway this morning, but I've got a very chesty cough. There's not a cold, it's just years of abusing smoking and breathing in carpet dust for my business, the carpet fitter. And I don't think it'd be a good idea going out. It's pretty cold in London now. Silver lights covering of snow is forecast for later. See the great Andy Murray, he's had resurfacing on his hip, and he won't guarantee that he'll be able to play again. I just put that in as an aside because I had both of my hips resurfaced 13 years ago, and they've been fabulous. Carried on fitting carpets and cycling, normal life really. another wonderful surgeon. I'll put them down to. I'll just sign it. Could sign it. have a look on there. If you're on Facebook, look at the Ranson Disciples. They'll give you a lot of encouragement for your watercolours. There's some good painters on there. I just want to put a bit more shadow on that tree there. Okay. What we take. That's a great one. Well, I would say my stream was very good, but we can put in a couple of twiggy things. This is a fine ruler. Just little bits and pieces. Okay, poke and prod and step on it. Well, let's just lift that up a bit. So that's my take on it. I hope the picture comes out a bit lighter than that, or a bit darker maybe. But it's my interpretation of it, without spending too much time getting bogged down in detail. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you like it. Bye bye.